Hey, did you know that BC's coastline stretches over 20,000 kilometers? And hidden along are countless beaches with tide pooling, castle building and total kid approved fun. In this video, I'll show you and reveal 10 of the best beaches in BC you don't want to miss. So here's the deal, stick to the end of the video because these last two tips, they will change your travel plans for this summer and you will regret skipping them and not having seen these places or check these places out with me. So with that, grab a notepad. You want to write down these places. Let's start. So first on the list, we talk about the Hornby Island, which is also known for Little Hawaii due to its white sand and sparkling turquoise water. And getting there is already part of the fun because it's in a way quite adventurous in the sense of you have to take 2 ferry rides to arrive there from Vancouver Island, but it's worth the visit. It is south facing and has a shallow bay and therefore has some of the warmest ocean water in BC. And at low tide, the sand expands into kids' playground full of tide pools. The only catch though, it is not really a secret or a hidden gem as such, although getting there is a bit more time consuming than for other places. So the pro tip here would be to arrive as early as possible, probably around 9 a.m. to have a spot and that you can enjoy the full tranquility of this place. So next on the list, we talk about the Josef Bay, hopefully I said that properly. And this bay is located in the beautiful northern part of the Vancouver Island. Getting there is already a bit tricky because it takes around a 1.5 hour drive from Port Hardy and then almost 3 kilometers stretch on a boardwalk to arrive at the bay. So it's not a drive up beach where you can throw out all your family stuff to the beach. So you really have to earn it to get there. But what you get is you will rewarded with cinematic sea stacks and walk through 3 sea caves at low tide. It's totally undeveloped. You have to pack your stuff, bring it all over there. So you have to do a bit more for it, like I mentioned before. So bring your picnic along. You will spend the whole day there. But it's awesome with children, but maybe you might consider getting there with children that are a bit older and can walk a bit more than with a baby. Still doable, of course, but a bit more tricky or challenging. So next we move on to Goose Spit in the Comox Valley. It is a natural sand spit shaping the Comox harbor. The ocean on one side, on the other side you have the lagoon, so you get best of both. So you have the tranquility on one side and more on the other side, more a bit the rough, rugged water part. The beach is a mix of sand and pebbles and it's easy to get there. So you can drive up, there's plenty of parking available there. So an easy access with all the driftwood available. Kids can make their tiny castles at the beach. And it even has designated evening fire pits for your late barbecue at the beach with some nice sunsets. And the kids can still run around and get out their energy. We all know if the kids have run out of energy, it's easier and better for all of us, right? So next on the list, I want to touch on the Rathtrevor Beach, which is a legend on Vancouver Island. It's next to Parksville, or in Parksville, to say it a bit more properly. And when the tide is still up, it's a nice sand beach, but when the tide recedes, it leaves a stretch of at least 1 kilometer just of sand. Will leave the possibility to explore the tide pools that it has created with it. And with that, kids can explore in a safe way all the tide pools with all the sea animals, and will be a great experience for them to see them Maybe some of them you can even touch, but you always have to keep an eye on your kids. But nonetheless, there's so much space there that it will never be crowded, or it just feels that way, although it's no beach in the area. But still, you have plenty of things to do. You can explore, like I mentioned, the tide pools. You can build sandcastles. You can just take long strolls on the beach. And the provincial park behind offers some great facilities, like washrooms, picnic area, playground. So it is a perfect spot to spend the day with your family. And now we move on to the next spot on the list, which is Spanish Banks in Vancouver. It's kind of a hidden gem in Vancouver, type of beach that sometimes get a bit forgotten, but you still get this beautiful view and skyline of Vancouver with the mountains on top. At low tide, it leaves a kilometre-wide sand plain, perfect for kite flying and skimboarding. Kite flying might not be something for your kids, maybe for your older one, but skimboarding must be a ton of fun. I haven't tried it yet, but it's still a must on my bucket list. And there are parking spots available that are now metered with Easy Park. It's, I guess, $1.50 for an hour. And there's still plenty other things that you can do at Spanish Banks. There's a grassy backlot, volleyball nets, there are summer lifeguards, concessions. The only catch though is the walk to the actual ocean at low tide can be a bit long one, but for kids it doesn't matter. They are more about playing in the sand, and for that it's absolutely beautiful and perfect, and another way and great spot to spend the whole day at the beach actually. So we already halfway through the list, and I'm wondering if your summer calendar is already filling up with these nice spots. Let me know in the comments below. Hit the subscribe button in order not to miss any future insights, tips, or travel ideas from myself. And if I miss anything on this list, just let me know. Let's go on. Now we're moving more to the lakeside beaches on this list, which are extremely beautiful too in British Columbia. One of the probably best known lakes is the Cultus Lake in the Fraser Valley. It is 90 minutes away from Vancouver and ringed with multiple public beaches. It is home to BC's largest water park, plus it has an adjacent amusement park too. And at the beach there are several options where you can rent paddleboards or motorboats, and the mix of warm and fresh water makes it an epic spot for all families alike. And it's definitely something that is on our bucket list. We haven't been able to make it yet, but from my family in Canada and friends, it has been recommended several times to do so, especially when you come from the Rockies or maybe from the Cariboo region. It is a great pit stop to soak up some energy, relax at the beach because of the warm water, and just spend some hours at the beach just there. And of course, if you talk about beaches, we can't miss out Okanagan Valley, which offers plenty of beach spots with a super hot climate. In the 1000th part, we have the only desert in BC, and one spot that I recommend is the Gyro Beach in Kelowna. Although it's an urban hotspot, it offers sand and warm shallows, and it's the only beach in Kelowna that has a zip line. A zip line that launches you directly into the lake. And close by is a playground where we have been to already several times. There are also volleyball courts, the legendary apple-shaped snack shack, but also if you've been there and spent the whole afternoon or even the day at the beach, you don't want to miss out to grab a gelato at the end to reward yourself for a nice day with your family. It is definitely popular and can get crowded, but the vibrant atmosphere makes it a must visit for all families that travel through in Kelowna or make a stop in Kelowna in general. So next we talk about the Kalamalka Lake in Vernon, which is also named as the Lake of Thousand Colors. And that's because in the summer when the water warms up, the calcium carbonate crystals form and turns the lake water into breathtaking, tropical looking turquoise. You feel like you're in the Caribbean. You don't need to go there at all, see? So it's something you have to see with your own eyes to believe it and see it and experience it. It's actually quite not a famous, but not recommend, I'm looking for another word. People love to go to this beach, let's put it that way. It's a relaxing atmosphere. You can go hiking, for example, go to the Goose Bay for a quieter place, or go to the Cal Beach. It offers tons of activities there. And let me check shortly on the list if I missed something out here. No, that's all. But just to make sure also here, it's kind of a hidden gem, but still known. So when we drove by the Kalamalka Lake the last time, it was well visited, so you might think of getting there in time. So next, for our 9th and 10th pick, we head over to the Kootenay Rockies, a region which is famous for its spectacular mountain views and pristine lakes. And here we've got a 2-for-1 deal for you. So on one hand, we talk about the Sandspit Beach at the Kokanee Creek Provincial Park and the McDonald Creek Provincial Park at the Arrow Lake. The first one is close to Nelson and the other one close to the cusp. Both facilities or both places offer campgrounds, so options that you can camp there and stay for the overnight or even longer. They're perfect spots for families. Because of that, just keep in mind, those are provincial park campgrounds. You might need to check out if they have all the facilities you need. Like, for example, if the campground has electricity connection or sunny spot. And from another thing you might need to consider if you have a freshwater access. Having said that, so the Kokanee Creek or Sandspit Beach has a huge sandy beach and a playground and also a picnic area where it makes possible for you to stay the whole day at the beach with your kids. And in late summer, there's even one special thing that happens there. That is when the Kokanee salmon returns to the spawn in the creek. And there's even a special viewing channel for you to see and experience this beautiful natural event. And the McDonald Creek Provincial Park, on the other hand, at the Arrow Lake, has a massive sand spit with warm water, tons of warm water that is great for swimming, and tons of space as well, which is actually the case for both beaches, and they're not as crowded as other areas we have here or I've mentioned in the list. And both parks offer the perfect blend of mountain air, crystal clear water, and the simple joy of lakeside campfires, if there's no fire ban in place, of course. But now to our special tips on the list. First, we start with another lakeside beach. Well, I need to admit, it's not a beach or lake, it's a whole area. It's the fishing highway of BC, called the Highway 24 in the South Cariboo. And if you drive on the highway there, you're gonna see and experience there are a ton of lakes available where you can stop. There are also plenty of resorts, campgrounds, cabins that you can book or rent with beach access, and in general the beaches there, they are awesome. The area is also called for some Little Switzerland because of all the beaches in the area, and it's a beautiful spot. Based on what we experienced on the Hathaway Lake, where we have been on a campground, the water can be rather a bit fresher than other places, so you might to keep that in mind, but you have the full nature for yourself. You feel like at the end of the world in a way, and those places are truly hidden gems in my point of view and gets a bit underrated. But nonetheless, this area is super beautiful. worth a visit and a stop, and a place that you need to see. And the next, we can't make a video about beaches without mentioning the Sunshine Coast in this video. And this particular place that I have in mind might be even the most beautiful spot in my point of view on this beach. You need to take not only a ferry from Nanaimo to get to the Sunshine Coast. No, you also need a ferry-free water taxi that goes from Lund that drops you on pure white sand. So getting there is already kind of a little adventure of itself, but the payoff is huge as you get basically a giant sandbar arranged with one of the most beautiful white sand beaches you will ever see. Maybe even better than the Caribbean, right? Because it's also named as the warmest sea north of Mexico. So if that doesn't make you want to visit and experience this place for yourself, I don't know. It's definitely on my list. I haven't been there, but I need to try to do that the next time. And because of its shallow depth and meeting tides, it is perfect for swimming. It's a great spot for families because of the long sandy stretches on the South Beach. And it's a place for beach combing, building sandcastles, and just feeling you found yourself in a true hidden paradise. So it needs some commitment to get there, of course, but you get 100% rewarded with a great day and a special experience, like you feel yourself in the Caribbean, but you're in fact in British Columbia in Canada. So having said that, I hope these 12 beaches will give you some food for thought. I hope you wrote down all the places and you're already planning your next trip to one of these beaches. And if not, let me know in the comment. And if yes, let me know in the comment as well. And if I've missed out some places, then also comment. I will make a video then of the other places, I'll promise. But having said that, in the next video I will talk about the best beaches in Vancouver Island, and then also another one about more great beaches, but not in BC, but in Alberta, Manitoba and Saskatchewan. So coming back to it, if I missed something out, let me know. Subscribe to the channel that you won't miss anything in the future, because I will share more tips, trip ideas and tools, and afterwards you'll get an overview where you can find more ideas and also tools to use to make your travel planning much easier and faster. So with that, ci siamo, arrivederci and see you soon.